And on the Democratic side, you've got 4 candidates who's running for Jim Bunning's seat. The primary is short, only 6 months away. And the 4 candidates you have is Jack Conway, who's a Democrat, who is the Attorney General. He's also ex-Deputy State Cabinet Secretary, and he was a congressional nominee in 2002. Dan Mongiardo, he's a Lieutenant Governor right now, serving in the Beshear administration. He's an ex-state senator, he's a surgeon, and he ran for Senate in 2004, losing to Jim Bunning by just a percentage point.
You know, I'm this close to saying, no, I don't need this job. I don't need the U.S. Senate. The only difference between Fletcher and Beshear is Beshear hasn't had blow-up yet, but it's coming.
The audio, which has clearly been edited, continues with another hit to Governor Steve Beshear, who has endorsed Mongiardo for U.S. Senate.
I think he's screwing me at the worst possible, and what I get out of it, we finally begged him to show up for one in northern Kentucky. He's not going to lift a finger. He's not going to do a damn thing. He's just going to show up, and his name's going to be on the. Listen, there is no.
Here endorsing Mongiardo.
I'm proud to be here with the next United States Senator, Daniel.
And Beshear's spokesperson echoed that statement Monday night that he continues to strongly support Mongiardo for Senate.
I'm this close to saying, no, I don't need this job. I don't need the U.S. Senate. I'm this close to saying, no, I don't need this job. I don't need the U.S. Senate.
In the audio post, U.S. Senate candidate Daniel Mongiardo complains about a lack of support from Governor Beshear.
He's screwing me at the worst possible.
The Mongiardo campaigns.
We're both determined not to allow kind of political shenanigans to drive a wedge between us.
But the campaign of opponent Jack Conway doesn't buy that. Quote, apparently Daniel has a lot of explaining to do to the governor and the people of Kentucky, said Conway spokesman Mark Riddle.
And you sure as hell can't speak the truth.
Just like Attorney General Conway had to do when he unleashed a couple of cuss words during his speech last month at Fancy Farm.
And I've been around a while, and you're looking at one tough son of a bitch.
A Democratic primary still a full 8 months from the finish line, but already littered with an F-bomb and an SOB.
You also have Darlene Fitzgerald Price, a Democrat, a woman. She's a law school student, an ex-U.S. Customs officer and Army veteran. You also have Maurice Sweeney, who's a farmer, a businessman, and a community activist. Jack Conway, the Attorney General, the current Attorney General, he's been endorsed by Ben Chandler, Auditor Crit Luallan, John Yarmuth, and Greg Stumbo. And here's a clip of Jack Conway at Fancy Farm.
Well, Dan, I've got to tell you, that was kind of cute. Yeah, I did go to Duke University. Daniel, you may be an ear, nose, and throat doctor, but you've misdiagnosed me, because when it comes to me, you can't hear the truth, you can't smell the truth, and you sure as hell can't speak the truth. And my granddad never missed a day of work in his entire life. And they taught me what the values of Western Kentucky are. They taught me that we value faith and family and responsibility and opportunity and community. And because we value faith and because we value family, as your Attorney General, I've taken on internet crime. We've taken 35,000 child porn images off the internet that were generated right here in Kentucky because it was the right thing to do. We've taken 90,000 registered sex offenders off of MySpace alone because they were soliciting our kids. Because our law lags technology, we passed, the Attorney General, not a state senator or another legislator, we passed comprehensive cybercrimes legislation because the law needed updating. Because we value opportunity, we've taken on the scourge of prescription pills to make certain that every Kentucky family can achieve its true promise. Because we believe in responsibility, Medicaid fraud collections, your taxpayers' dollars coming back are up 600% since I became Attorney General. In taking on the utilities and dealing with ratepayers, we saved $91 million for gas and electric ratepayers here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky alone. And when it came time to fight price gouging and to make certain people weren't taking advantage of us in the wake of the ice storms, I stood up and said, you've got an Attorney General that stands by your side, the consumers. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a record of showing up. That's a record of going to work and delivering for you. And ladies and gentlemen, now we have a chance to take back Wendell Ford's Senate seat and return it to the people for whom he fought. And you all can holler all you want at me, and I can hear you. But just like Wendell used to say, you know what? Go ahead and chew on my hide. Chew on it. It only grows back tougher. And I've been around a while, and you're looking at one tough son of a bitch. But we need to go to Washington. We need to go to Washington to make certain that the 11% of Kentuckians that are now out of work are taken care of. We, the taxpayers, are now the shareholders in companies that have become too big to fail. And you know what I say? Let's break some of them up and return the competition that has long been our hallmark. Democrats owe this country a dialogue on fiscal responsibility. We're not in any mood to take any crap from the Republicans who messed these things up over the last 8 years. But in our 8 months in office, we're setting this country on a track to recover from the economy that we now find ourselves in. On education, we need to fully fund all-day kindergarten and make certain that early childhood education is a priority for this Commonwealth. Because you know what? The kid that can't read at 7 is the dropout at 16. And Kentucky now leads the nation in dropout rates. And ladies and gentlemen, to me, that is unacceptable. On foreign policy, we need one where America understands that strength and wisdom are not opposing values. And that's the type of United States Senator that I will be. And on the energy issue, this is something that I know about. Ladies and gentlemen, a new energy economy is coming. Kentucky needs to be part of it, but you're looking at a future United States Senator who will not cast a vote that will hurt Kentucky coal, and you have my word on that here today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all in this together. There are people up here today that want to talk about running for the United States Senate. I ask you to listen a little bit. You can holler if you want, but listen a little bit. And ask who's trying to scare you, and who is applying, and who is appealing to your hopes and to your dreams. We're all in this together. The coal miner in Dad's hometown of Hazard, the farmer.
And then you got Dan Mongiardo, who's a lieutenant governor. And he says that Conway is knee-deep in dirty tricks. Dr. Dan is for universal health care. And can we turn all cell phones off, please, in the studio?
Actually, something going on.
And here's a clip of Dan Mongiardo.
Thank you. I love coming back to Fancy Farm. I've made a lot of great friends here through the years, and I'm really looking forward to coming back next year as your Democratic nominee for the United States Senate. But first, we're going to have a spirited primary campaign. After all, Jack Conway is a proud Duke Blue Devil, and I'm a proud Kentucky Wildcat. Now, I may be a doctor and lieutenant governor, but I certainly wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. In the Senate, I'm going to stand up and fight for the people who eat barbecue with a fork, not caviar with a silver spoon. I'm going to stand up and fight for our farmers. I'm going to stand up and fight for our seniors, our veterans, and every hard-working Kentuckian who punches a clock, not the silver spoon crowd. Now, Jack is a nice guy, but he chooses to fight for the silver spoon issues preferred by the champagne and caviar crowd. In 2002, when Jack ran for Congress, he supported cutting Social Security benefits and raising the retirement age. Jack supports the cap and trade bill that places a huge tax on Kentucky's working families and businesses. Instead, we can reduce our dependence on Mideast oil by converting clean Kentucky coal to liquid. Ladies and gentlemen, our healthcare system is broken. We need to fix it, and we must fix it now. I'm Dr. Daniel Mongiardo, and I will stand up and fight for you.